Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to another edition of Live from the Pot. One of the hottest shows to do this going on. And look, we here to chop it up today. We're going to discuss things that dwell in the energy. That's right. Let's talk about these idiosyncrasies that dwell through our spirit, man, that keeps us pushing or pulling. Sometimes, a lot of times, let's keep it real, all day, in fact, every day, sometimes every moment of our life, it feels like there's something always pulling at our ankles to try to get us to stop, to distract us, to ball us up and twist us. And sometimes we get a hang of it, and other days it gets the best of us. Let's get into that. Oftentimes, we go through things in our lives. And a lot of us, when we wake up in the morning, we come through and we get things together within ourselves and we want to help. Meaning that we have good hearts. We try to do things from the depths of our heart. And we wonder why what we do and what we put out here isn't reciprocated equally. Well, let's look at that. See, what we have to realize and understand about reality, things that happen in the now, you, people, children, family, is that everything isn't on our same time clock that beats with our heart, right? So what I'm saying is that just because you are in a position on how you feel today doesn't mean everyone else is, right? You feel great today, and he feels like shit today. That's probably a normal thing that you encounter every day when you encounter someone else. We are not always all aligned in the same areas in our heart that day. So if we are in a position to where we expect that, or if we don't simply just understand that whole conundrum, then we are to be hurt, we are to be bruised, and we are to feel like we've been rinsed around in the washing machine. Because I woke up with a great heart and with a great intention today, and I expressed it out into the world, and it did not pay me back. In fact, it dropped me on my face. Why is this happening to me? And because we get this wrong, it teaches us a wrong way to move. So we start to respond to everything in a negative concept. We start to move the wrong direction. We start to guard ourselves. We start to not operate within our heart's limits. That's a dangerous thing to do because of your ill perspective. You have to understand that everyone is on their own biological timing. What I can tell you is that that is a great opportunity for you to go inside someone else and help them and bless them for their day. And this makes you a well-received person. This makes you a well-respected person. This is what they quote unquote call, man, he's a good guy. Or man, she is so sweet. The way you achieve this is take the opportunity of a opposite heart of yours to go and mend it. Do you know the true gift of giving? One of the satisfactions of giving It builds self-confidence. When you give a gift, it proves to you that you are a good person. This is why people like to give. It gets you high. Right? And my question is, would you rather feel high or low? Let's be real about that. Let's be honest about the way we want our reactions and relations to be when we meet people. Let's be honest that we want people to like us. Let's be honest about that. Let's be honest that it bothers us when people don't receive what we were trying to give them and do for them and tell them. Let's be honest that that rubs us the wrong way. And that's okay. I'm going to tell you what makes you different from everyone else. Is at that moment where you get rubbed wrong, you look at that as a challenge. You look at that as something that God told you to get right. Instead of looking like throwing your hand like, screw that. At first I had the love in my heart to want to really help this person. And then they showed me something stanky and now I'm through with them. I'm not in love with that no more. What does that make you look like? Don't we all claim to be sincere? What do you think that makes you look like? At one moment you had the love and the will to want to go blossom and water this thing. And now that the leaf ain't busting out when you get ready to, you don't love it anymore. Doesn't that sound like something familiar? Doesn't that sound like the experiences in your life? So maybe that person doesn't need all the tender concern themselves after all. Maybe you still need to take a look inside you as well.
Can I ask you something?
Of course, baby.
This scenario that you just put out there where you helping somebody and they don't receive you, so you don't love it anymore. Mm-hmm. I don't know if a lot of people just feel like they don't love it anymore. I feel like it's one of them things where you might realize somebody is just not ready for what you putting down.
And listen to what you said. If you go into that a little deeper, that doesn't mean the opposite, which means if they're not ready yet, that doesn't mean you fall out of love with what you were trying to do from the get-go. See, right. Most of the time we never accept the fact that, oh, this happens just because they're not ready. It rubs us wrong is what happens. We get rubbed the wrong way. And we fall out of the concept of wanting to do that now. The part where we say, oh, she's not ready is the part where you're still showing love and understanding.
Right. But you got to move forward. Like your own personal value for yourself is supposed to tell you, okay, I don't have time for that. And when this person get to the part of their process, when they ready for this, maybe they will come. Right.
And that is absolutely correct. Okay. The part that should go absent of that is the part where we carry the dark emotion that comes with that happening. So if we understand that, hey, this person isn't ready, I got to push forward. Let's try to cultivate and control that emotion of getting upset because of that situation. Because
definitely do something about the emotion about getting upset. But just being able to call the situation out for what it is. You know, we don't have to say, oh, you hate it now. Or, no, I just said I don't have time for that. You know, like, so we don't have to just say, oh, you don't want to deal with this person anymore because you don't like how they get down. You hate them. No, I love myself and I want to protect my energy.
And that's
just I'm not saying you wrong. I'm just saying that's a different way to look at it.
Actually, it's the same way to look at it. It's just polar. It's the same way to look at it because you said I love myself and I will protect my energy. That's your first job.
Exactly. My first job is me and my energy. And, you know, like when most of the time people who want to help people, I would say those are passionate people.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? But you got people who confuse just because they give things and say they good people. I don't even believe in the concept of people saying that they are good people.
Go into that word when you quote it, you say this is passionate people. So understand what comes with a person being passionate. That means they're coming from their heart. Yeah. Their deepest heart, right? That's also simultaneously the same person that's very easily bruised, very easily hurt. You can't be passionate yet firm at the same time. This is where accepting the good and the bad comes into play. This is why a lot of people aren't passionate, right? Okay. They rather be secure and protected than to feel and smell. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. This is why they're so cold. They're so locked. They're so guarded. Whereas passionate people are very vulnerable.
Right.
Very warm.
And there's nothing wrong with you being able to evaluate the fact that somebody let you down when you put yourself out there for them.
Right. Right. Correct. You should not look at that way. You just look at that as this is part of your process.
Yes. And that you doing your process and they are doing their process simultaneously.
Right.
We never done with our process.
Right. Exactly. And so with that understanding, you learn how to control that emotion when things do go south.
Yeah. So that's a learning lesson for you.
Right.
And that is whatever it is.
For them, it will be a learning lesson for them. Hopefully. It may not be today. It could be tomorrow. But they will remember. They will always resort. You're going to always resort back to what God put in place.
Right.
There's no choice. That's why the word irony exists. Because you're going to go full circle and you're going to say, oh, man, that's what she was trying to tell me. Lesson learned.
Right.
And you, the moment you planted that seed, even if it was 10 years ago, that was you making your deposit, and you're going to cash in for that. And they're going to cash in for that. So you're spreading love every day. That's why we have to remember every morning when we get up out the bed, we try with our best foot forward.
And that's the thing that you take from this situation. That is what you take from it. Like, just because this person let me down, you don't need to change who you are, because they got this saying like bad people change into good people and good people change into bad people.
Right.
It's happening every day.
Right. That's
every
normal.
day. So what you don't want to do is allow somebody else to dictate what your feet are doing.
Exactly. We have to stop planting bad seeds.
Right. And just
it's contagious.
Yes, and you just take the agency over your own spirit, over your own mind, and you keep doing the right thing.
Right.
Because just because somebody didn't take it the way you wanted them to take it does not mean you were doing the wrong thing. It just means that you need to redirect their energy.
Yeah, and the way that works is this person is having a bad day. You want to help them. They're planting bad seeds. They plant it into you and you allow it to manifest, and then you plant a bad seed back, and then everybody gets to go in the wrong directions, and it's contagious. You touch another person, they touch somebody else, then you experience somebody else, and now your friend circle, you're doing it with your friends. All of y'all are sitting around in circles and spreading bad seeds, bad information, negative information that they're going to take home with them and go home and act like that with their partners and spread bad information. He's going to receive it, and then he's going to call his homeboy and spread bad information. Now we're circling bad information.
Right. So let's start. I want to talk about the people on the opposite end, because we talked about the people who are passionate and want to help. Like,
right. What
about the people who don't receive the help, but they always, because everybody out here always, you got. So what is this stigma that I'm trying to explain? Like, because people always say they ain't got real people in a corner. Or, you see people who had a history of where they was messing up, and then they be like, well, I didn't have nobody. And, I've been that person before who said, well, it wasn't nobody there and woo, and that's not true.
Right.
That's not true.
Right.
It was probably that you just wasn't ready.
Right.
Because that's what it was for me. I wasn't ready.
Right. And
then, like, what you got to say to that?
Right. Absolutely. It's almost weird how that works like that all the time. There's no, I don't even think there's any strikes to that rule that the way irony works, you always can remember and go back to what somebody told you so.
Right.
Always. I don't care how old you are. You can always, even if you were super victimized.
But like, we don't have enough of that self-reflecting going on to where people can reflect back to when somebody was telling them.
Because our world is full of regressive feminine energy.
Fake energy. I guess that's what
it's feminine
energy is.
Well, feminine Feminine is energy.
That was a joke. I'm sorry.
Feminine. No. Actually, if you look at it, I mean, it's actually true. I'll say this: feminine is energy. Period. It lives in men and women.
Okay.
It represents energy. The masculine represents reality existing.
Yes.
It's firm. It never changes. Femininity is energy. It's color. It's light. It's smell. It's taste. That is feminine. So whatever is fake, that's something that's moving in the feminine, right?
Okay.
And because the way culture has been going over the last couple of decades, we're in a world now where everything is overly feminized, and we're afraid to resort to the masculine because we don't believe in ourselves. And that self-belief, that's masculine. Right? And if you remove that, all you're left with is wonder. Wonder. You don't have anything to stand solid on. There's no solidarity. This is why balance must exist. Just like if we were overly masculine, like there was a time, and if you go down in the past, there was it was a masculine world.
Right.
And that world was full of savagery. It was horrible. It was war. It was animalistic almost, right? It felt like it lacked its true purpose of essence. It almost seemed like a checker game. Mm-hmm. You constantly trying to stack to get on top. That's it. Okay. Do what's necessary. Stack to the top.
Right.
Do what's necessary. Stack to the top.
I definitely
That's
agree
boring.
with balance. Yeah. I was just saying that
That's
we were just talking about that the other morning. Yeah.
And then we got to a point where everything, because of a response to that, the world wanted to shift. And when it shifted, it shifted in a way where it was 180.
Yeah, and see, you know what? And people do that. You know, like sometimes it don't take for you to change your whole recipe. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it don't take for you to take out everything that's within you. Like sometimes you just have to make a few adjustments.
Correct.
Sometimes it's just a few adjustments that you have to make.
Correct.
Not a whole, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to take, I don't agree with just taking everything out of you.
I mean, think about
this. Because if
this.
it wasn't meant to be there, then
Right.
why would you have it?
If you were baking a cake and you somehow added too much milk to the batter, you wouldn't say to yourself, let me rewind time and remove all the milk.
No.
Now you don't have any.
The milk, right.
You adjust as you go.
Yes.
And then we got into a time where everything went over feminized and everything was over accepting. Anybody could do anything.
My God, say that. Yes, we do live in a world where it's just everything we need to accept. That's too much. There's too much feminine energy going around. I agree.
Our world
that is so
lacks masculine energy.
It just lack direction. Period. Like ain't nobody it lack law.
Right.
In order.
Right. That's what that is. That's a masculinity. And you wonder why you see women get with a good man, a great leader, and she can't win with him, and he go right next door and wins. Mm-hmm. Because whoever that sister is that he's met, she understands him.
And
she understands logic.
It's so powerful.
Oh man, it's very
so
influential.
Powerful. And like because it don't even matter how strong the man is. Sometimes like feminine energy is powerful. It's powerful.
Yeah, it does its thing. Definitely, it definitely does its thing. That's why I said energy is feminine. I don't care. I don't care what nobody says. That part, even when the dude gets swagged out and sharp to the T, man, he reached in his feminine bag, boy, and he killed it. I'm just going to be honest. A lot of men, we don't like to admit that, but that's exactly what that is. Logic is inside of women. When she figures out a way to bust it out, and man, you got women out here that'll pop 3 jobs, man. She do what she do to get those kids protected. She'll cut you. That's masculine energy. Mm-hmm. Right? We have a lot of women overdwelling in that, and we have a lot of men overdwelling in femininity.
Thinking last night, I don't know when it was, but I was just thinking to myself, like, because we was listening to those celebrities on that interview the other day,
right?
And I was talking about, I was just thinking about, like, how I just felt like he shouldn't have let up on his son the way that he did, because his wife, I felt like he let his wife and energy influence the situation.
Yes.
And then it went all the way left.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it was so crazy to see that. And I was just telling myself, like, because in a sense, like my dad, I'm not going to say he like roughed me up and boxed me in a corner.
Uh-huh.
But like he was a little hard on me.
Of course.
And that's why, like, a part of me, I am a very feminine woman, but I love the idea of order. Like, I need to see what direction is going in. Because, you know what I'm saying? Right. And then because of that, I'm able to tell myself because I'm feminine, I'm a woman. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, but because of that, what he instilled in me, you know what I'm saying? You can't, when somebody instills something in you, it don't matter. Like, I'm always going to have that. Like, I understand that it need to make sense.
Of course.
It needs to have, it needs to be an end goal. We just can't be, what I'm saying? At some point, all the stuff that's the leaves or whatever, when it start blowing in the air, it got to come down.
It does. Right.
And like, it need to come down somewhere.
And it's in your favor to understand that.
Right.
A lot of women don't understand that.
Exactly.
What goes up must come down. Law.
Right.
Let's be friends with that. Let's accept law and order and watch how things better themselves in your life. Mm-hmm. That's masculinity 101. And because of the way she just explained it, the way she set up and the way her dad instilled that in her, that makes my job 10 times easier. If you're in a situation where you're hearing your man complaining, he's shaking up and he's always confused and forgetful and stressed and tense and man, even get to a point where he's gaining weight or losing weight or he can't perform in a bedroom, is because his mind is racing, right? And that's not for us to dwell in, especially as men.
Probably because you're doing too much.
Right? Let that man lead. Like I said in the last podcast, you must trust your man. Allow him to be who he is. Remember what you said when you married him. Remember when you dated him. You dated him. You married him, meaning him for who he is. Or are you going to tell yourself the truth? You married him because of what he looks like or his possessions. You can't only take his possessions into accountability or what he looks like into accountability. You have to take who he is for accountability, because guess what? He can have all the money in the world and all the looks in the world, but who he is as a man could hurt you. It could jeopardize you.
And another thing, like the money he got and the way he looked, that kind of stuff can change.
Exactly.
Who he is, it can be altered. Right. But who a person is from the core is who a person is from the core.
It's unmovable.
Right.
It's unmovable. Start looking at men for who they are.
Start looking at people for who they are. Passive men. Start looking at her for what she is.
Hey, my brother. Let's do that. And you see why I do this so well with the energy of my wife beside me, because as you can see, I can tend to go on and flow on one topic. And I can do that for 5 years, bro. I promise. Mm-hmm. But she can just get up in the car and change the radio station to something else, and I can get my groove, you know what I'm saying, while I'm sitting there, because I sit there, I believe in firm. I believe in straight. I believe in linear, up, down, or left, right. And I'm okay with living like that, right? And she comes and turns things diagonal, crisscross circles. And before I know it, I might be complaining. I might get to sweating at first when I didn't understand myself and my energy and my manhood. But then you zoom out and you look. I'm like, damn, now that you gave me all these other options of direction, we've created a masterpiece.
As long as you're getting somewhere, baby.
We're creating a masterpiece. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? If you're creating a masterpiece, try to paint something only with the stroke of your brush being able to go up, down, left, right.
No circles.
No circles, no zigzags, no diagonal. Guess what that lacks? You lack passion, you lack thrill, you lack drive, you lack expression, bro. You lack feeling, you lack pain.
Yeah.
You lack joy. So this is why you'll see things like guys stressed out, can't perform in the bedroom, don't have any energy, can't focus. Because, man, you have to accept reality and live. We have to be able to see things for what they are. If you ladies see your man and he's struggling with confidence and things like that, you got to pull away with your masculine energy for a moment and try. The reason why you are in your masculine energy is because he's not in his. Let's understand these things are going to balance.
Maybe because you just try to overpower
that
people,
too.
period.
That too.
Yeah.
That too. But I will say, step into your feminine role as you should be anyway. And you don't have to lie to him. Don't lie to him because he won't be a man. Tell him the truth. Tell him the truth. Tell him that he is capable and able. Tell him. But also tell him that, but at the moment you are on the floor. You're on the floor, man. Are you looking for crumbs? You don't have to be condescending. Let him know that, man, you belong in the sky and right now you're on the floor.
We gotta get you off the floor, babe.
We gotta get you up. What are you gonna do? And then back away.
Right.
Back away. Let that marinate with him.
Mm-hmm.
The part where you come and condescend him and do things like that is the part where you forget he's a hermit himself.
Right. And everybody is doing a process.
Because there's times where, if that's the case, then there's times where you justifiably need to be stood on top of and preached and say, "Hey, you spending too much money, woman. What are you retarded? You know the bills are due." You wouldn't like that. So this is why we must respect each other and embrace each other as real human beings. And when this energy flows down, understand that people are just doing their process. And if these individuals are people that whom you are not just so, intimate with, and I want to speak to ladies about that because y'all are intimate, right? You have to learn how to balance that. You have to learn how to keep your high energy things home. And your regular energy of your intimacy while you're out here living this colorful world that you have and created for yourself. Accept it when it's not cute. Accept it when it stinks. And challenge yourself as a feminine woman to say, I wonder if I could love that. Now, the position where you do that, the position when that doesn't mean go throw the whole kitchen sink at it.
We accept everything.
That doesn't mean throw the whole kitchen sink at it. Go home to your logical source, talk to your man about it, and ask him for I want to love this. I got this thing here that I want to touch on. Could you give me parameters? You see how that works? Could you give me parameters? I want us to have a swimming pool in the backyard. Could you go out there and size the backyard for me so I can figure out the best position to put the pool in? Right? She's looking for you to lead her with her own decisions, my brother. She just won't tell you that. Right? And women, you have to be courageous enough to do that. Trust him. That's why you have to trust him. Because once you see him being a man, without even thinking about it, that's what you're going to do to him all day. Like, I would do this, but I want to check with Bae. Because I want to make sure I'm going the right direction. Because I know he knows where he's going. Because I trust him to be a man, and he is that. So I got this situation that I want to love. I'm going to go home and ask my man for parameters. And then you proceed. You do it, and that's how you do it without getting hurt. That's the way it's
supposed to go.
Right.
That's the way that it is. That's the way it's supposed to be. What you just said.
Right.
What you just said is the way that it's supposed to be. That's the way it's supposed to look. The problem is, it's not looking like that.
Right. Well, what they say, what you just say, that's the way it's supposed to be. I believe the only fix for everything is doing it the way it's supposed to be done. No alternatives. Well,
sound like a lot of logic to me. Not feminine energy.
But it's love in it as well. It's love in it as well, because what you get to look at, you get to understand that, wow, I actually get to proceed without feeling like I hate this person or I don't like them anymore. Now I understand them. That's love. But the logic comes in where you understand that there is an area where you have to pull back and go and grab you some parameters.
And let a duck be a duck.
Exactly.
That's all.
Exactly. And keep your prayer life open.
Hey, that part.
Thank you all for joining us this afternoon for a discussion about the energy when we don't like that shit. Yeah, it's a part of life. We gotta accept bad energy. If the deal is to live life, then that means you signed your name by accepting bad shit in life. Because life without bad shit, it is not life. It's a fairy tale, and fairy tales don't exist. I hope I can spread some good energy for you all today. I'm sure my wife and her lovely voice spread the energy for you all today. Hope we all learned something today for the wonderful, fantastic adults that we are. I'm about to get off of here and enjoy this fantastic day. Love one of you all. Y'all love yourself, love each other. Thank you for joining Live from the Pot. Peace out.